the first thing that we're going to do, I find as CEOs, as studio owners, is that our day can really escape us very quickly without us really doing anything. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you ever had one of those days where you are like working. You might work an 8, 10, 12-hour day, and you go home to your partner and you say, "Whoa, I'm so busy today. I got so much work done." And they say, "What did you do?" And you go, and you know your day was full, but you actually have no idea what you did. Now, this happens frequently. I hear this a lot from the studio owners that we work with. And I want to say to you, it's completely normal, but I want to shift that, right? Ideally, I want you working less hours, but making them a lot more productive. Because the facts tell us that we can only work productively. And by productively, I mean 0 distractions on things that are really moving our business forward, really strategic activity, about 4 hours a day. That's it. So if you're saying, "Oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm working 12 hours a day," I want you to ask yourself, are you really working 12 hours a day? Or are you working for like 15 minutes, then you're on Facebook for an hour, and then you're like texting your kids, and then you're like back on the email for maybe 30 minutes. Like, that's not really working. That's kind of fluffing around. And so what I want you to get really clear on is where you are spending your time. And if what you're spending your time on is valuable to your business, are you doing the things that are moving your business forward? Or maybe you're doing the activity that is slowing your business down and not allowing it to move forward, and you're getting bogged down. I don't know, do you ever feel like you're getting stuck in the day-to-day of the business, the really basic stuff that you're like, it has to get done and there's no one else to do it, but it's me. And so it takes you away from the things that are going to really move you forward. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to a couple of good friends of mine, Dan Martell and Todd Herman, and they have a CEO scorecard. And I was talking a lot to them about our studio owners and our program members that we work with. And they were like, "Clint, you could totally adapt this for your dance studio owners." So that's what we've done. And we've been teaching it over the last couple of years to our Studio Success Formula members. And we talk a lot about this inside of the Inner Circle also, because it's something that you need to be focused on all of the time. Where is your time and energy going as the CEO of your studio? So we have a scorecard here, and you can see the different columns. There's a $10 column, there's a $100 column, there's a $1,000 column, and there's a $10,000 column. And this is really to showcase and highlight to you where different activities sit. So $10 an hour tasks versus $1,000 tasks versus $100 versus $10,000 an hour tasks. And ideally, as the CEO, you want to be working in the $10,000 an hour tasks. So let's have a look at some $10 an hour tasks. So one of the big ones is customer service. What I don't want you doing as the studio owner is answering customer service emails, right? This is, no matter how big or small you are in your studio, especially if you're just starting out, I want someone else managing customer service emails for you. And it might be 5 hours a week. It might be 10 hours a week. But really, you need someone to be taking this on, because this could take up a whole day of your time every single week when you add up all the hours going back and forth on email. So customer service invoicing is it's still early for me. Invoicing. How about costume ordering? And when I say ordering, I'm talking about putting through the order. I'm not talking about picking things out. Music editing is another big one, right? So these things that are like basic admin tasks. Who's doing some of these? Let me know in the chat. Who's doing some of these $10 an hour tasks at the moment? Let us know in the chat if that is you. Are you doing some of these $10 tasks? The next column is $100. And so this is email management. So this is like managing, what is happening inside of the inbox that you have. So not so much customer service and responding to customer service and answering questions, but managing the inbox. Website updates, you shouldn't be doing that either. Creating systems. Now, we talked about systems yesterday, and a lot of that was who is responsible for creating that system. Now, if it's just you inside of your studio, I want you to really pay a lot of attention, because you can avoid a lot of mistakes very early on in your business if you get your head around this studio CEO scorecard. So you can really know where you're spending your time and where you might need to make hires over the next 12 months in your business to look after some of these tasks, right? So email management, website updates, creating systems, graphic design. If you're sitting there spending hours and hours on Canva, again, not a good use of your time. So if you're in if you're doing some $100 tasks, put $100 in the comment section right now. Jump in the comment section, put 100. Now, 1,000, we're getting up there, right? So these are the more higher value tasks. Now, I would expect that probably, I'm hoping a lot of you are here and in the $10,000. I hope a lot of you are not in the $10 and the $100 an hour tasks. Now, you might be, and that's okay, because that's just where you are today. But I'm telling you, I've worked with thousands of studio owners now. If you want to grow your business, if you want to get it to the next level, if you want to have more income and, more importantly, profit coming into your studio, then you need to be really focused on this, because you're not going to achieve different results by doing the same thing. Einstein talked a lot about that, right? He was like, it is crazy, it is ludicrous if you think you can take the same action day in and day out and expect a different result, right? Things need to shift, need to change. And that's why I'm bringing this Studio CEO scorecard to your attention, so you can start really thinking about where you are spending your time. So copywriting. Copywriting is one of those things that get forgotten about. People put up a Facebook ad, or they write their website copy in like 5 minutes, when actually that's what should be taking the time. I'm super excited, and I can't announce it just yet. But if you're stuck on writing copy and what words to use on your website and what words to use in your emails and in your Facebook ads so that you can stand out, I've got something really special coming up for you that I'm going to be announcing at the end of this week. So make sure you look out for that. A very special someone coming in to teach us about copywriting. So stay tuned for that announcement. I can't give too much away or my team are going to get angry at me. Training team members is the next one. Creating new programs. So programming is one of those things we're focusing a lot on at the moment, because a lot of people are offering like jazz, right? Are offering a preschool ballet class. But really, what programming are you putting in place for you to stand out? And then how do you brand your programming? One of our modules inside of Studio Success Formula is how you brand your classes and your individual age groups so that you can stand out. So that when someone comes to your website and they say, oh, Jenny's Jazz Hands Academy does jazz. Oh, Robert's Dance Academy also does jazz. Who do I go with? If there's no branding around your classes and your curriculum and they both look the same, they're going to go for the cheapest, unfortunately. And people constantly, price themselves too low or on par with every other studio because they're afraid of not getting customers. But you've really got kind of a branding and communications problem if your studio is looking like every other studio inside, in your local area. So having great programming, and the other one is recruitment. And recruitment can kind of go in the 1,000 or the 10,000. When I say recruitment, that final interview process should be with you. And again, this is dependent on the size of your business. You might do the whole recruitment process. That's like in the $1,000 the $1,000 an hour task. It's important you spend time finding the right people, mapping out a hiring funnel. You know, one of the things we teach is it's about a 12-step hiring funnel that you need to put, you know, teachers and admin staff through. So from the writing the job description all the way through all the little tasks and personality tests and all those things that you give them along the way to make sure that they are the right fit. So who's doing some I'm sure we've got some people on the call today that are doing some $1,000 an hour tasks. Let me know if that is you. You can see some people saying 10, some people saying 100, which is great. Who's doing some $1,000 an hour tasks? Jump in the chat. Let us know if that's you. I'm sure there is a couple of you. And then 10,000 is, let me spell this right for you. So growth strategy, which is kind of the overall vision of the business and how you are going to grow the dance studio. Revenue streams, so introducing and working on additional revenue streams. Partnerships, also a really big one. And you might put some marketing strategy in there as well. So these are, it's my morning coffee. It's not a bourbon. $10,000 an hour tasks, right? Growth strategy. So really sitting down strategically. My magic number is 2 hours a week. 2 hours a week, non-negotiable time where you sit and think about your business. Where is our studio going? Are we going in the right direction? What do I want it to be? Who do I want to be a part of this vision, right? All of these things are super, super important, and it's non-negotiable. So it's in your calendar and it doesn't move for anything unless it's a life or death situation. And you spend strategic time every week thinking about where your business is going. All right, let's have a look. Kate, been handing off some $10 and $100 tasks to focus on the 1,000 and 10,000 more than before, but it still needs work. Yeah, it's progress. Kate, super proud of you though, for, you know, taking that next step and moving forward. Claire saying currently working on a partnership idea. Yeah, we have Claire, I'm not sure if you've been through Studio Success Formula. We have a whole module on strategic partnerships, which would be very valuable for you for where you're at. Georgie's doing some $1,000 tasks plus everything below the tens and the hundreds. Jesse, go you good thing. Most of my tasks are in the $1,000. Awesome. Jesse and Igor have a studio, an adult based studio in Sydney, and they won one of our awards from our Studio Success Formula program that we ran earlier in the year. Such a superstar, such a star implementer, these two. So Jesse, I'm glad to see that you're up at the 1,000. Okay, Nancy's got a good point here. That's where I get stuck. I'm so protection my brand and image that I don't want to take the chance of having others do it if it's and it's not right. So Nancy, I completely understand this, and I'm exactly the same. And that's why you've got to have, for instance, like a brand guide, like a guide that your designer creates where it says, this is how we use these fonts, this is how we use these colors, this is what we can do, this is what we won't allow when it comes to branding, this is how we can use it. So you just need to create a brand guide that everyone kind of adheres to, right? And you'll see with Studio Success Formula Mastery, you know, everything that we're doing inside of Recharge has a very specific brand attached to it. Now, it's different from our association branding that we do because it's an offshoot, right? This is our core 8-week program. But even from the frames that you see around this Facebook Live, every day they're different colors, but there's consistency, right? We have the same colors we use. We have fonts that we only use, and you will very, very rarely see us go outside of this, right? So I understand your concern, but it's definitely something that you can move through and put systems in place so that, you know, you're not afraid to hand it over and to delegate it. All right. So is that making sense to everyone? Let me know in the comments section. What's your aha moment? I want some aha moments now. We've just gone through the CEO scorecard. I want you to let us know what are some of those things that have come up for you that you've been like, oh yes, like, that is really important, or I've never thought about that before, or awesome. So Christy's saying, I love that strategic planning on your branding. Yeah. Branding around your classes, who you are and what you do is crucial, especially nowadays. Now that there are so many dance studios opening, it's really important for you to have everything branded and branded well. You can't go on to Fiverr and get Fiverr people to create you a logo, right? It looks crappy, basically. And so you need a great, graphic designer or a great team. And it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. It will be an investment, but it'll be one that truly, truly pays off. Okay, we've got some great, Sandra, I have to stop micromanaging and doing everything 100%. I love that. I do quite a bit of each level, starting to pass along some tasks to others. Some a joint effort with others, instructors, and I, says Jenny. Heather, creating the brand vibe will help me a ton with letting go of the tasks I can delegate. Yes, I love that. Glue, hey Glue, love seeing you here. Glue Dance Studio, 2 hours a week just to think about working on the business. That will be a game changer. If you just took that away from Recharge, but you actually filled the hours with proper strategic planning, not just sitting there thinking, like actually going through a process, you would really start to transform your business. Valerie, hey, good to see you, Valerie. Knowing the value of each of these types of jobs. Yeah, completely. Jessica, I'm afraid to let go of some of it, especially the public presentations of my studio. And some things will be a little bit harder to let go of than others. I'm going to let go of delegating more tasks to my new staff. I think I've nailed my branding. Good, Claire. That's great. And get other opinions. We're very, what I've noticed with branding is that studio owners create the brand they want instead of the brand that their customers want. So make sure when you're creating a brand, you're not looking at it going, oh yeah, I like that. You're irrelevant, right? What's important is that your customers identify and are attracted to it and resonate with it, right? Your customer needs to. All right, so I'm going to keep moving forward because I know that I said 30 minutes and I'm already there, and look how much more we have to go. Story of my life when I get teaching, I just can't stop. So have a successful CEOs. So I've worked with, like I said, thousands of studio owners, but I've also interviewed hundreds of successful business people and have a wisdom circle of my own. I'm a part of mastermind groups with a lot of, 7, 8 figure, some of them even like at 9 now, figure businesses. And so I have a great network of people that I talk to, and a lot of the learnings that I learn from them, I bring back mostly to our inner circle members. But there's something really powerful around being around successful business people, right? It's hard for you not to pick up on their energy, on the way that they work, on the way that they operate, on the way that they think. And that's what I love about these groups. Like our Recharge group, like our Studio Success Formula program, like our Inner Circle, is at each of these different levels, there are amazing people with fantastic ideas. And I want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people like that. And that kind of leads me into the first habits of successful studio CEOs is they create for themselves what I like to call a wisdom circle. And this was something that was brought to me by one of my mentors many, many years ago. And I was feeling really isolated in my studio. And I had a business partner, but it still was very isolating. It was isolating for both of us. I don't know if you've ever felt like that, but you're running a business and you kind of think like, does anyone understand me as a studio owner? Like, why don't my friends, why don't my family, feel the way that I feel about my business? Why don't they understand my frustrations? Why aren't they celebrating my joys with me? And it's really tricky. And I remember when we first started working with a mentor, a year and a half into our studio, she said to both of us when she was telling us about feeling isolated when she first started her studio, she was like, you guys need to start building a group of people that are like-minded, that are similar to you, that want the same things as you, that are ambitious, that are hungry, that want the best for life. And she didn't call it a wisdom circle. I actually named it that many, many, many years later when I kind of evolved kind of what she initially taught us. But from that point, we started, the way that we did it is we started building partnerships with local businesses. And although they weren't studio owners, they were other business owners. And then, after that, it wasn't until I sold the dance studio did I start getting into mastermind groups like our Inner Circle program, where I got to meet other business owners. That's when I had Dance Life, which was the online magazine and the dance competition. And so, the core message here is have people in your corner that get you, that understand you, that can be your cheerleader, that can and celebrate your successes, can hold your hand and pick you up when you're going through a challenge or a struggle. Because I'm here to tell you, if you don't have a wisdom circle in place, if you are relying on just yourself to move you forward every single day, you're not gonna last. You're not gonna keep your business. You're not gonna build a business that truly thrives. You're not gonna feel truly fulfilled. A great example yesterday, 3 of my friends I was texting with who also run businesses, and we were just bouncing ideas off each other. I know that our Inner Circle members do that all the time. A great example, Devon, one of our awesome Inner Circle members, filmed a whole video and walked through how she set up a system in her studio with one of our other members, Cheryl, recorded it and put it in our Inner Circle Facebook group, right? That's the community I want you guys to all build for yourselves. People that are in a similar position. Oprah does it. Oprah always talks about her wisdom circle, and people call it different things. Their guru circle, their group of influencers. There's lots of different names for a wisdom circle. I just love the name wisdom circle. I have 6 people in mine, in my close wisdom circle, and then I have my outer wisdom circle, which is my mastermind groups and my mentoring groups, right? So surround yourselves with people that can take you higher, that can celebrate your successes and can lift you up in those challenging, darker times that I know we all have had as studio owners. Ask questions. Successful people ask a lot of questions, and I'll never forget when I first started in a particular group, a mastermind group that I'm a part of, training group. We got to an end of a 3-day retreat, and the guy who runs it, Ryan, came up to me and he said, and I was the youngest person in the group at that time, and he said, you ask really, really great questions. And I was like, oh, thank you. You had never thought of it before. And he said, no, there are good questions and they are bad questions. And you ask really good questions, so the quality of the answers that you get are really great, and that's what's going to help you move forward in your business. And I thought about that, and it's something we talk a lot about inside of the trainings and programs that we run as well. Ask good questions, right? When you ask a good question, you're going to get a better answer. So for instance, when I'm doing a coaching call, someone might say to me, how do I get more students? That's a really bad question, okay? A really great question is, hey, Clint, I've got this preschool class that I'm running. They're 3 to 4. I want to fill my 3 to 4-year-old classes. I've been running this class for 2 years. In the first year, we were at 50% capacity. We were running 3 classes. They were all at about 50% capacity. How I marketed these classes were X, Y, Z. Here were the results from doing that. Now, what I'm really wanting to know is, do I keep doing what I'm doing to bring in some more numbers, or do you think there's something else that I could be doing? Should I stick with the Facebook ad? Should I introduce something in? That's a really well planned out question. And you're going to get a much better answer from me by asking that question rather than how do I get more students? Because that is a lazy question. So that might sound tough. And this is your first time kind of listening in. You're probably like, oh my God, this guy is crazy. But I want to be honest with you because I'm showing you here what it takes to really become and step into the CEO of your business. And also, if you're going to join us inside a Studio Success Formula for our 8-week program, we do group coaching calls, right? And on these coaching calls, I'm going to be live with you on these calls answering your questions. And I'm going to coach you around asking good questions, but I want you to come in with a little bit of a head start. So make sure you're asking good questions. Wake up early and have a morning routine. So one of my good friends, Hal Elrod, wrote the book, The Miracle Morning, and it talks about a morning routine. He's got a 6-minute version of it and also a 60-minute version. But everyone that you'll ever read about who has built empires, and even if you don't want to build an empire, but you want to build a bigger, better business and have a happier, more fulfilled life, waking up early and having a routine that sets you up for success is really, really crucial. The routine might look like meditation, exercising, writing, reading, any of the things that kind of set you up, affirmations, right? Any of those things that get you started for a day. But if you are lying in bed in the morning and the first thing you do is roll over, look at Facebook, look at Instagram, and what are you doing? You're liking everyone else's life before you like your own, right? I will never forget when Kelly Abbey, a big choreographer and director in Australia, said that to me. She's like, Clint, I don't understand. Why are people waking up in the morning and liking everyone else's life before they like their own? How can you expect to get the most out of your day and bring the most to the people you are serving if you don't look after yourself and set yourself up for success in the morning? Number 4, we talked a little bit about this, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but get a mentor. Get someone that's walked the path that you want to go. That's what we did. A year and a half into the studio, we were lucky enough to come across a lady who had sold her dance studio, and she wanted to help us out. We were young. We paid a lot of money for it, but it was worth every single cent. So pay for a mentor, invest in your own education, right? You're expecting people to pay and come and give you money for your dance classes. Pay to get educated on how to run a successful studio and really live your life at 100%. This kind of touches on what we talked about before. You need to protect your time. You can see up the top here when we talk about $10, $100, $1,000, and $10,000 tasks, that if you're not protecting your time, you're going to be sitting in the $10 and $100 an hour tasks. So use your calendar. We talked about calendar on day number 1 when we went through setting yourself up for success. But you've got to make sure that you are protecting your time. Look after yourself, right? Physically and mentally is really important. Meditation, I don't know if any of you meditate at the moment, but there's some great apps. Headspace is one of them. Calm is another one. I like Calm because I find Andy from Headspace very annoying. So I don't find it very, I can't really meditate to poor Andy. He has an English accent, and I love English accents. We work a lot with our friends from the UK, but I just can't meditate to him. So having a good meditation app where you might just take, I'll just sit in my office or be at home and I'll just take 5 or 10 minutes to clear my head. I'll put on the app. I'll either just put on the sound, which is like the water or the wind or the rain, or I'll do a quick guided meditation. It just resets me very, very quickly. And look after yourself physically as well. The usual exercise and the food, the fuel that you're putting into your body. This is a little bit of another one, a weird one, I guess. But successful studio CEOs are motivating others. They have a real passion and drive for seeing the best in other people and thinking about how they can get the best from that person. Now, I'm not talking about being a nagging partner that's saying to your, husband or your wife, put down the chocolate, put down the chocolate. I just want what's best for you. Put down the chocolate. That isn't really motivating others. Motivating others, and we're really talking about your team here, is finding out what your team members want to achieve, both professionally but personally, and helping them when they want it to achieve that. One of them might say to you, I'd really love to save X amount of money in the next 12 months to go on a holiday to Hawaii, right? And you might go, that's amazing. How can I help you with that? And they might say, give me more money. No, I'm joking. They might say, oh no, it's fine. I just need to be more, studious when I save. And you might say, hey, would it help you if why don't you open a savings account, and every month when I pay you, I'll put 10 or 20% of your pay in that separate account for you, right? Would that help? Right? Things like that. You want to really help your team members personally and professionally, because when their personal life is going fantastically, they're going to bring their A game to the workplace. The next one, number 8, is have downtime. And I've talked a little bit about this over the last couple of days, but it is really important that you are not on 24/7 and you feel like you can't switch off. I get it. But if you don't, a couple of things are going to happen. Your business isn't going to grow. I can tell you that if you take one full day off every single week, you're going to be more creative, inspired, motivated, hungry, energetic to take your business to the next level. Instead of working 7 days and feeling exhausted, resentful, low energy, like you've had enough. And you might be saying, but Clint, I have to work 7 days. You don't. You're the business owner. You make the decisions. You're the one that gets up 7 days a week and tries to work a 10 or 12-hour day, and it's not helping anyone, right? Switch all of those hours for productive. Now, you might work 4 productive hours, and then you might work 4 hours of getting bits and pieces done. Right? But if you're working 4 strategic, productive, non-distractive hours every single day, there's no reason why you couldn't double your studio in the next 12 months, at least, right? Double the students, double your income. I've seen it done time and time again. You just need to change the structure, what you're doing and how you're doing things, and making sure you're working on the right things. Then take a day off for yourself. Go to the park. Go to the beach, sit and watch Netflix for the day, but take time out. You'll be so much better for it. The people around you will love you a lot more because you're going to be a whole lot happier, but make sure you are having downtime. Have tech-free work time and downtime. Right, not a little bit similar to what I just mentioned, but don't always be working on technology. One of my best friends is this little guy right here, my Agami notebook, which you've probably seen, which is like full of fun stuff. But a lot of the time, I'll go downstairs. We have a gym in my building, and it has like a little co-working space, and I'll just take my notebook. I'll sit with my notebook and I'll have a coffee or I'll have some lunch, and I just sit with it and write down stuff. What am I thinking? I use my notebook for all of my strategic planning. So my 2 hours a week, I try and do about 4, but at least 2 hours a week, I'll spend with my notebook. And I'm just writing, I'm looking at our org chart, I'm looking at our products and services, I'm looking at our offerings, I'm looking at our my coaching style, I'm looking at our coaches. I'm always thinking about how to make the experience better for our customers, for our program members, in Studio Success Formula, in the Inner Circle, in our association. And so spending time without technology is so beneficial. And lastly, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise, is read and listen to books or podcasts. Right? Make sure you are continually educating yourself. What we put into our minds, consciously or subconsciously, is going to drive our day, our success, our business growth, everything. So if you're getting up in the morning and the first thing you're doing is putting on the news and hearing about all the horrible things that are happening in the world, that unfortunately is going to dictate the type of day that you have. But if you wake up in the morning and you do have a morning routine, and when you exercise, you are listening to a podcast or an audiobook that is about leadership or growing your business, or getting fit and healthy, or whatever it might be. But if you are putting good stuff into your mind, your day will change, your business will change, your mood will change, everything will shift. Everything will shift. And so I want you to look at that list. Look at that list of the 10 things, and what's the one thing that you want to focus on? What's the one thing when you look at this? I'm sure you like, I want to do all 10, but what's the main thing that you want to focus on over, let's say, the next 90 days? What's going to be the challenge? What's going to be the thing that you focus on over the next 90 days? Jump in. Okay, Amanda said, liking my own life first and that morning routine. I struggle to get out of bed, but if I can change that, yeah, Amanda, completely. The thing with the alarm, that goes off is as soon as that alarm goes off, you get out of bed. There's no snoozing. The Miracle Morning talks about this, but don't hit snooze. You get out and get your day going. Janine is saying the wisdom circle. Yeah, I love the wisdom circle. It is crucial. Lisa is saying the tech-free work time. I find myself always working in front of the computer or with my phone. Yeah, get your origami notebook, my favorite notebook in the world. Sit with a piece of paper and a pen. It's amazing what comes out. I always laugh. I do a lot of plane rides, and every time I'm on the plane, unless it's long, I try not to bring out my laptop. And so I have my notepad, and the ideas and the things that I do in my notepad on the plane is, oh my God, it's so amazing. Jen, get a mentor. Yeah, completely. Jen, hope you're going to join us for Studio Success Formula as well, because I would love to be your mentor. I would love to help you. Work on my morning routine, says Denise. Awesome. Shannon, having downtime. Focus on growth strategies to fill my largest studio next year. Great, Jess. Kathy, read and listen to books. Tarina, also saying the wisdom circle. Melissa, tech-free time. I get too caught up in emails. Bethlyn, 2 hours of business growth. Find out what my team members want to achieve in their personal and professional life. Yeah, Mary Catherine, super good. Downloading the Calm app and get a better morning routine. Igor says between 3 and 4. Protect my time. Yes. Morning routine for Melissa. Less tech, says Georgie. Yeah, we've got lots of great things. Jenny, morning routine, not a morning person. Also need to protect my time. I love what I do and time gets away from me. Yeah. Being cautious and aware of where your time is spent is really important. All right, let's keep moving. I have 9 minutes till we hit the hour, so I want to make sure that we get through this. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to think of your most amazing teacher that you have in your studio, right? And I want you to write their name in this box. So I'm just going to put down Mary, right? Think of the most amazing teacher, dance teacher, that you have inside of your studio. And if it's only you teaching at the moment, well, then it's you. You can do this exercise with just you as well. And I want you to write in the comment section right now, what are the amazing qualities that teacher has that makes them an awesome teacher? What are the qualities that this person has that makes them an amazing teacher? I want you to put that in the comment section right now. What are the things when you go, oh my God, I love it when Mary does X, Y, Z. I love it when she is on time, right? She might be super punctual. I love how Mary controls a class. She knows where like every student's at every second. I love it how she bends down and gets on eye level to the student when she's talking to them. I love how her music is always in time a week before the deadline's due and I never need to chase her. I love when I send her a text message or an email that she responds to me within, 2 hours. I love how she always comes into the office when I'm there and says, hey, if you ever need a hand with anything else, let me know. Right? Tell me in the comment section, what do you love? So Heather's saying, Miss Maureen, amazing. Jessica, enthusiastic, encouraging, fun, enthusiasm. What I want to encourage you all to do is get more specific. Like, what is enthusiasm? How does the teacher show that? Because the mistake people make when they're recruiting people is they'll say, are you enthusiastic? They're like, I guess so. Like, yeah, I'm enthusiastic. But how do they demonstrate that? So does it look like them, cheering with the children? Does it look like them singing with it? What is enthusiasm for you? So get specific. Don't go broad and, don't do broad brushstrokes here. This is about the people we're bringing into our studio. Super organized and has vision. Great. Patience and caring. Says Kathy. Mildred says patience. Patience is coming up a lot. Sandra, patience, personalization, and plans. Denise, energetic, uplifting, always on time, ready to work. Amanda, communicating and being involved with each of their students and parents' lives. Don't know how she keeps up and knows everything about them. Yeah, so we want to get really specific, right? And you're going to need a lot more space. You probably should have a whole page for this where you note down like everything that amazing teacher does, right? Because that's going to form part of what you recruit for when you're looking for new teachers. I'm giving you the very beginning process of the hiring funnel, which is, the beginning of creating the job description, okay? On the flip side of that, I want you to think of a teacher who is not your number one teacher, right? Now, you don't need to put their name here, but I'm going to just put Bob, for instance, right? You don't need to put their name in the comment section. But what are the things that Bob does? So the teacher that you're thinking of in your studio that isn't the ideal qualities you want in a teacher. I want you to put them in the comment section. So maybe it's they don't, they come in late, or they come in at, right on time when their class is meant to start and they're meant to come 5 minutes early. Maybe you always have to chase them for music. Maybe they never want to they never give input when it comes to costuming when you ask them. They never turn up to any staff meetings. Like, what are the things that are not ideal teaching qualities? Because it's important the ideal ones, but it's also very important the qualities that don't serve you or your customers when it comes to your teachers. So jump on in. So drains our time. Yeah, drama doesn't follow policy and procedures. That's a great one. Jesse. Yeah, because we've all had those teachers, right, who is dramatic. They come in and everything's a drama and you're like, oh my goodness, why do we need to be so dramatic all of the time? They behave too much like a friend or a big sister to the students instead of a teacher. Yes, good. Inability to adapt and be flexible, tardy, unwilling to learn new things. Totally, Lisa. Sandra, punches the clock. I'm sure we've all had teachers in our studio that come in, do what they do, the bare minimum, like that Mariah Carey video. I don't know if any of you saw that video on Facebook with her like doing like the dance moves, and they were like, and someone wrote like me doing the bare minimum at work. Heather's saying shows up sloppy, not in dance clothes, doesn't plan well, needs help with choreography and picking music. Does not follow curriculum consistently. Yeah, look, there's lots of really great examples, and I would encourage you to have a look at all of these. Amanda, their personality is a bit drab. They just go through the motions. They look tired and disinterested. You want to make a list of both, right? You want to make a list of those ideal things, which we've just done, the ideal things, and then also the things that are not so ideal, right? Let's move across now, and I want to do the same thing for your admin team. So I want you to think of either your office manager or your receptionist. Let's call them Joan. Whoever it is, put their name in the comment section, and we're going to do the same thing. I want you to write in the comments, what are the amazing qualities for that admin person? Like I said, it can be your office manager or your receptionist. But what are those things you're like, oh my goodness, I love it when Joan has the weekly report printed out every Monday when I walk into the studio, and she walks me through it in 10 minutes. You know, I love it when I ask Joan for our class capacity, where our class capacities are at, and she knows the number off by heart. I love it when Joan greets every single customer, you know, by name and with a smile, and her head isn't stuck in her computer. You know, what do you love about this admin team member? Let's see. Jenny's saying gives full attention to each customer. Awesome. Keep so ahead of tasks that they're prompting me. Yeah, I love that. I think it's really important. Danielle saying, I'm going to take the kids to school. I'll come back later. Keep going over it. Gives me more info. I'm loving this favorite part of my day. Oh, Danielle, good luck with the kids. We'll see you back here really, really soon. Lisa's saying personality plus, able to engage each customer and make them feel welcome. Really, really important. Amazing. Always one step ahead of me, has everything prepared. Sandra's saying Laurie treats the business like her own and always does extra that nobody asks her to do. Don't we love that? Don't we love team members that are proactive and say, hey, by the way, I've done this for you. Or, hey, I've thought about XYZ. We should do blah, blah, blah. Like that, doesn't that just light you up? Doesn't that make you very, very happy? I know that I love that with my team. Park is saying has good judgment and thinks independently and proactively. Lara is looking for more work because she already does everything assigned. Amazing. Well, Michi, you can delegate. Look at your studio CEO scorecard. Start giving her some stuff to do. Amanda, willing to solve a problem without having to run to me for permission. The comments are going so quickly. I'm trying to keep up. I have an events team. They are amazing. If something happens, they don't know what to do. They tell me. Yeah. I love this, right? So you've got that list, right? You've written a list. Now, on the flip side of things, I want you to now put in the comment section, what are things that an ideal admin, office manager, reception person, you know, does that doesn't thrill you, right? That isn't in line with your values, your vision, that makes more work for you, that makes you frustrated, that makes you feel like you're not on the same page. You know, what are those qualities that they have that are not in line with, you know, your studio and what you want them to do? Maybe again, you know, they're coming in late. Maybe if they're the office manager and they've got to do student enrollment, they're never filling out the 18-step enrollment spreadsheet that we offer our program members. Maybe they never know your receipt, you know, the payments that are coming in and what's due. They can never tell you that. Maybe they spend way too much time, you know, talking to people, you know, and why it's important in a frontline role to give great customer service. There's great customer service, and then they're sitting around just having a chat, right? So Bethlen is saying comes in late constantly. Yeah. Sandra, procrastinated to the point I get frustrated and do it myself. Jesse doesn't follow our business pages to know what's going on. Jessica, on Facebook too often, needs to be prompted on customer service. Yeah, all of these things. And so you've got a list here, right? You've got a list here of, and you'll work a little bit more on this, but you've got a list for your teacher of your ideal teacher, those amazing qualities, as well as those not so amazing qualities. And you've got the same for the admin team as well. So what I want you to do over the next couple of days is really look at these lists. And I want you to think of you as the CEO. You know, how can you help mentor and support maybe your team members who are not kind of stepping up to the plate? how can you help them step up to the plate? Because while we've just listed our frustrations and the qualities that make us go a little bit crazy with a teacher that's not ideal or an office manager that's not ideal, a lot of the time we have to put up a mirror and we need to go to ourselves, well, have I clearly explained that expectation? You know, Jesse talked about them following Facebook pages. Have I told them to follow the Facebook page? How am I encouraging this? Have I explained why this is important? A lot of the time as business owners, as leaders, we can dictate, go and do this, full stop, instead of, hey, I'd love to chat to you about XYZ and the reason why that this is really important. We've had a conversation before about, you know, you staying up to date with what's going on and checking our Facebook page. But what, you know, and it's my fault, but what I haven't explained to you is why this is important. So I wanted to do this exercise so you get that you can see the gap, but I also want you to put up the mirror and see what can you be doing as the CEO, as the leader, as the mentor of your studio to support these people who maybe need to, you know, take it up a notch, right? How can you help them with that? That's the first step we want to do. Before we say, no, you're not right, get out, we want to really give everyone an opportunity to shine. And that's why I'm so glad that we have the amazing Jane Gretsch, who's our leadership expert inside of our program, you know, Studio Success Formula, that is our leadership coach who is amazing. So let's just quickly look at success at your front desk and beyond, right? So success in your front desk and beyond. So from all of these things that we have talked about today. So we've talked about your CEO scorecard. We've talked about habits of successful CEOs. We've talked about, you know, things that you love in your teaching team and the things that you don't love. Also, things that you love in your admin team and things that you don't love. How can we kind of put this together and get a little plan for you moving forward from today's conversation over the next 90 days to help you really step into that CEO role? So I want you to write down 3 focuses in the comment section, right now. What are going to be your 3 focuses from today's session for your next 90 days? For your next 90 days. So you might put down, do a 7-day audit, right, of my time. And so this is, you've gone through the CEO scorecard. You're like, wow, I am really in the $10 and $100 an hour tasks. I need to do an audit of my time to see where I'm actually really spending my time. And then I need to make a plan of how I can delegate more work or how I can schedule time in my calendar for more strategic activities, right? That might be one of the things. Now, guys, jump in the comment section. Here's your accountability piece. I want you to put in what are the 3 things you're working on over the next 90 days.